Smartphone manufacturers have tried a ton of ways to improve their phones over the years, but there's only a few ways you can design a metal and glass slab. Who am I kidding? It's an iPhone clone. It's just an iPhone clone. Samsung, why did you do this? I don't understand. You had a perfectly good thing going on with the metal curved frame from before. It was comfortable to hold and in my mind, better design than any iPhone out there. And then you went and did this. This feels like a complete ripoff. It feels like Samsung was doing everything in their power to make sure that people couldn't tell the difference between this and an iPhone 15 in stores. And look, it lays it all out there. To all of the people who say that Apple has some sort of incredible halo design that can never be reproduced, well, here you go. This is an iPhone. Now, I would argue that the camera array looks better than most iPhones, but I've complained about the iPhone's ergonomics for years now, and it's only fair that I do the same thing with Samsung. Oh, by the way, this is InnoIso, and welcome to the Galaxy S24 review. Maybe they really do expect people to just use a case, and this is the best possible shape for making room for internals, and this flat design is just the way we go. But in my mind, it digs into my hands, and it just feels uninspired. Now, I normally go for the larger model of phones, so this was a nice surprise in terms of being able to fit it into one hand. And technically, the Galaxy S24 Ultra doesn't have the same sort of square-off design, but it's just a little bizarre that they went with this design. Now, honestly, I do love this color. It looks great in many different lights. It's a little bland, a little grayish, but it's lovely. In terms of the display, it's an edge-to-edge display with great colors, brightness, and viewing angles. What else can you want? Now, it was tough to move from my Galaxy Z Fold 5 to this in terms of screen real estate, and I found that I had to hold the phone a lot closer to my face when I was watching content. But that delightfully tiny little hole punch is so nice for watching content. I feel bad for all the folks who have to deal with a massive island in their screen and just be able to get authentication. Now, speaking of which, the under-screen fingerprint reader on this device is lightning fast. Samsung's really mastered this over the years, and in my experience, it's a lot more consistent than my Pixel 8 Pro. If I had to put a numbers on it, Pixel 8 Pro is maybe successful 90 to 95% of the time. This is 95 to 100% of the time. Now, I think the only thing that could be better than this is having the Pixel's single camera facial recognition. Now, technically the Galaxy does have facial recognition as an option, but as we saw in a video maybe a year ago, I was able to dupe it, at least on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Now, like most modern phones, the Galaxy S24 flies through just about every workload that I threw at it, and it's a great experience to use. Now, battery life could consistently make it through a day and then some. It was only a few years ago that going with a smaller model of phone meant that you were going to have bad battery life. But I could really get 8 or 9 hours of screen on time with this. And it could consistently last me through an entire day and then somewhat into the next day, depending on how heavily I used it. Now, remember, Samsung is not just marketing this to be a super performant phone in general, but as an AI-focused phone, just like the Pixel 8 was marketed by Google. So how does it perform in AI workflows? Well, there's not a whole lot of precedent here. Google's marketed their Pixels for several years. Samsung's now started to really lean on these value-added software features. These range from voice transcription to text recommendations in the keyboard and to Samsung's own equivalent of the Magic Eraser photo editing. I'm not the biggest on Samsung's keyboard in general, so let's skip that. But voice transcription seems to work pretty well, taking somewhere in the ballpark of 6 to 7 seconds to transcribe a minute worth of audio, or around 2 minutes to transcribe 10 minutes worth of audio. It's not lightning fast, but it's super, super helpful if you are recording, for example, your meetings or recording any sort of interviews or anything along those lines. Or maybe you're in college and you need to record a class. Now, I really appreciate transcription on the Pixel line for years and years, so it's finally nice to have it elsewhere. In terms of the image editing, it's kind of gimmicky. I think the amount of times where I'm trying to remove a product or an object from an image, like in Magic Eraser, is not really that frequent, but I tried it along with the ability to move an object into a different space, and the result was not really that impressive. There's a lot of blurring around edges of objects, and I can't tell you exactly how I would try and leverage this, but it feels like it's a bit of a half-baked feature. It is cool that these sort of features are running locally on the device, but we'll have to see whether it continues to develop. It really interests me just how much things will change when developers start focusing on and leveraging onboard LLMs like Gemini Mini for in-app workflows. What that means, it could mean anything. It means that a lot of the stuff that's currently being done leveraging the kind of internet and having to wait on a full response from the internet could hypothetically be done on device. I'll go into a deeper dive exactly what that means in my Pixel 8 Pro review, which should be coming up soon. So be sure to get subscribed if you aren't already for that. Now, unlike the entry model iPhone 15, the Galaxy S24 features 3 cameras, a wide angle, a telephoto, and a standard lens. And generally, I can say I loved all of the pictures that came from this device. There's great color, depth of field, and dynamic range, and even relatively basic photos just come out great. And one thing that I am thankful that Samsung copied from Apple was a great video experience. Now, I just love shooting videos on my Galaxy S24. I didn't have to worry about the video being blurry or out of focus or dark. It was pretty consistent in just how quality it was. It's really come a long way from just a few years ago. In general, I'd say it pains me how much I just love the Galaxy S24 because I want Samsung to succeed on their own merits without mirroring the design of the iPhone. And honestly, I think they got about just everything right. So if you're not like me and either you have a case on your phone all the time or you don't mind the frame digging into your hands, the Galaxy S24 is really the best iteration of this idea. Later this year, I'm sure Apple will release some version of iOS that has AI integrated and probably all of the exact same features. But here's all you need. This is all you need. Now, in terms of pricing, whoever priced this higher than the iPhone 15 is out of their mind. Samsung tries so hard to make their devices look premium, and I'm sure they think this just compares it more to this is more comparative to the iPhone 15 Pro rather than the base model iPhone 15. But you and I both know that this exact phone is going to be available on eBay for $500 in just a matter of months. Do not pay $850 for it. If you're going to get the Galaxy S24, see if you can get a trade-in for your phone, like a massive trade-in value, or see if you can get like some sort of buy one, get one free deal with your carrier or with Best Buy. If you want an incredible phone that you might be able to fit in one hand if you have larger hands like me, the Galaxy S24 is a great option. This is very much a refinement of the idea of a traditional phone. Now, as most of y'all know, I'm a bigger fan of foldables, so this isn't going to be my go-to device, but if I needed a convenient phone that I could fit in one hand, this is a great option, and I'm not sure what I would go for over this. Thank you for watching InnoIso. I hope you like this quick review of the Galaxy S24. If you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments and get subscribed for future videos. As mentioned, we got the Pixel 8 Pro review coming up soon and a lot of great content coming up. So I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.